Hello there, welcome to Genessis-Models. My name is Bobby Waldron and this is the 9th of October 2015 Genesis Model Show. Now this week been working on the studio non-stop basically, getting more acoustic stuff going on in here. As you can probably see behind me, buying loads more IKEA desks and everything and building them up as well. So there's just a massive pile of boxes in one of the rooms. So you know, studio's coming along rather nicely. F15 week, I've been working on our F15 here, which hopefully, as you can see, we're getting all nicely sprayed up here. We've got our first coat of, I did use which was it, 71050 light grey by Vallejo as our sort of our main coat. And basically I go into a lot of detail on spraying and how not to kill off your pre-shading, because when we all do it when we first start off. I've done it. You kill off your pre-shading so easily, and hopefully I've sort of cleared that up for a lot of you, how not to sort of kill that off straight away, because it is a lot of hard work doing all that pre-shading and then to just come along with your top coat and kill it all off. It is quite disappointing, so hopefully you'll like that. And I'm liking how it's just nicely coming through, just faintly enough to sort of give your paint work a little bit more life. I have gone off and I've ordered in some paints from Can and Model Master, because the top camouflage paint, I'm kind of finding it hard what colour to use for that, to be honest with you. I have followed the FS numbers, which is why I'm going to a Can and Model Masters, because they've got the FS number for that camo colour in certain paints. So I've ordered them in just to sort of find out which one I like and which one's the best there. So hopefully you're going to like that episode there of our F15. Also, we've got our Necrons this week, which we're going to be looking at part 2 now, where we're going to be looking into some spraying and washing. Right, let's get on with part 2 of building our Necrons. Now, part 1, we built all our Necrons, as you can see here. What we want to do now is do some spraying. Now, when it comes to Necrons, they've got that old sort of metally look to them, to kind of go with their background. Now, what I want to do is I want to do a really easy way of painting these up, and what we want to do is I'm going to be using a new product that is Vallejo's new acrylic metal color range. Just came out. Basically it's to give you a really cool natural metal finish, but it is in acrylic form, because there are a lot of paints out there that give you some really good realistic natural metal finishes, but they are normally in a lacquer based form, whereas this is kind of like new in the sense that it's acrylic based, so basically it's water based. So first off, when we try and do natural metal finishes, first we want to prime these, and at the same time we want to sort of give the natural metal finish a good start, and the best way to do that is with some sort of a black primer. Now what I've got here is a surface primer, which is a polyurethane primer. It is black, which is exactly what you want for natural metal finishes, but it's also a gloss black as well, which enhances the natural metal finish even more. So taking Vallejo's airbrush thinners, right, we're just going to now make a nice mixture of about a 50-50 mix. That's about 50% thinners to 50% paint. Getting an old paintbrush just to mix this up and make sure it all gets mixed together well. Put that in a paint pot just off camera. Check to see how we are flowing on a kitchen paper towel, and this is just so that we know it's the paint's not spluttering. We've got a nice feathered spray pattern going on there, and all we simply need to do here is we just want to get this all painted up with some good coverage. And the best way to start off is just put on a light misty coat, right, and move on to the next miniature. Right, and we want to keep on doing this light coats all the way around, coming in from lots of different angles, because there's lots of angles we need to get into here, lots of nooks and crannies, right? So remember, you know, keep it nice and light. We don't want to be coming in with a thick coat because it'll just run and pull up. Nice light coats, building them up until you've got the coverage you want, right? So hopefully by the time we've gone through all these miniatures, we can come back around to the first one, and hopefully that will be all nice and dry, ready for another coat. So here it is, all nicely primed up, as you can see, nice black and shiny. So let's get to the fun part. The fun part is putting on our nice natural metal finish here by Vallejo. Now I'm using 70701 aluminium. Right, this is a really sort of nice bright aluminium colour. Right, and what we can do, we can pour this in neat. You can add a bit of thinners if you feel like it. It's totally up to you. But again, you know, test how your spray is coming out nice, feathered, not spitting, and we can just then start to lightly spray this on. Right, we just want to get a first light misty coat. Right, we don't want to just jump off with this stuff and start whacking on, you know, a big heavy coat of this. Right, as you can see, I mean, that there on its own actually looks rather cool. It really, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's one effect you can do as well. It's sort of like you lightly spray it and it doesn't quite go into all the nooks and crannies, and it does, and because of the glossy black primer we put on there, I mean, that alone does give us a pretty good look. But that's not the look I'm after. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut to air by just pressing down the trigger, dry this off, because it was a light coat, and because it's acrylics it should dry very quickly, and then we can come in and give this another coat. Right, which, I mean, we shouldn't have to probably come in with a third, because it really does cover exceedingly well. So I'm just trying to make sure I get everywhere nice and evenly and equal. And hopefully what you're seeing is, I mean, it really does give you that sort of top-notch natural metal finish. Right, don't worry about the gun too much. I mean, the gun we're going to paint later on down the line with an actual paintbrush itself. So just checking, I'm going to cut to air a bit, and there we go, there's our nice natural metal finish. Now, as I say, Necrons, we want them to be sort of like a dirty old metal look to it, and this here has got a really sort of brand spanking new kind of aluminium look to it. So we need to let this dry, and then we can do another little bit of work to this, which will just sort of transform it. And as you can see, we've sprayed it. Spraying is easy, you know, it doesn't take that long to spray these miniatures up. So I'll show you the next bit. So after our Necron has had a chance to dry, and you want to make sure it's dry, we're now going to put on what is called a wash. Now the wash I'm going to be using is Citadel's wash, which they call a shade. I'm going to be using null oil, which is again basically black. And what this is going to do is it's going to get into there, into all the nooks and crannies. It's going to take this, I mean, if we look at this, this is quite a shiny natural metal finish, and that's not what Necrons are. Necrons are old and dirty looking kind of metal effects. So getting a wash brush, what we're going to do is we're just going to dip into this black wash, this null oil, right? And it is as simple as just plaster it on, right? There is no real sort of trickiness to it. Let's bring you in a bit. We're just going to slap this on, right? Don't be shy, just whack it absolutely everywhere, right? This wash doesn't have much of a capillary action, which is good for certain things, not so good for other things. So basically what this means is where you brush it is where it basically goes, rather than with some washes you brush it and it will flow in and out of any sort of nooks and crannies and sort of flow everywhere. You know, different types of washes for different types of applications really, which, you know, this one isn't too bad. I quite like the washes actually from Citadel. Right, don't worry about the gun. The gun's going to be painted a completely different colour, so don't worry about getting good coverage on that. You might want to sort of, like in some areas, like just underneath here, we can sort of really sort of whack in, you know, a lot more wash. Maybe sort of around his neck area we can sort of get a little bit more in there than we would. Right, and once that's on and all over, already you can see, you know, the difference that is making. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm just going to wash my brush off in the water, then on a clean kitchen paper towel. We're going to come in with our earth shade, which is sort of like a nice browny, dirty, sort of oily looking kind of colour. And what we're going to do, we're not going to slap this absolutely everywhere. What we're going to do is we're just going to sort of, you know, whack it in a few spots here and there, sort of dab it, you know, not everywhere, you know, maybe just clean off our brush now and sort of, you know, kind of leave it as its full kind of earth shade colour in some places. Sort of mix it in with the black, because the black's still wet, right? And it'll give us a couple of different, you know, colours going on here, other than, you know, we've just washed this black. You know, we're going to have the earth shade quite strong in some places, and some places we're going to have the earth shade and black mixing in together, you know, creating new colours at the same time. So we're really sort of don't make this just a flat sort of black wash going on there. Now what I like to do, just to sort of make this a really easy miniature to do, is get your brush, you know, wipe it on a kitchen paper towel so it's sort of basically dry, and then what we want to do, we want to come back to the miniature, and where we don't want bits of wash, we maybe got a bit of a pull up here and there on his legs, his thighs, his calves, right? Maybe sort of just suck these up a bit, still making it look natural. Maybe just on the back here on his shoulder we've got a big blob of sort of pulled up wash just here. We can sort of suck that up, not completely, but I mean we can suck it up a bit, right? Just so as, you know, we get rid of all the blemishes that we don't want. Right, we get it looking the way we want it. Right, maybe just on his jaw here we've got a bit too much, and on his head maybe. Right, if your brush gets sucked up too much, you know, just dry it off again. And just on his jaw here should probably finish that off rather nicely. A bit on his arm, there we go. So what we've got here is we've gone from this really shiny sort of brand spanking new looking Necron to, you know, a nice dirty looking Necron, and really we just need to let that dry now, and that is basically it. I mean, next week we're going to be like taking the guns and painting them and doing the eyes and doing some glowing effects, nice, quick, easy, and we're going to be concentrating on the base, which the base is sort of like a little miniature in itself, because we can do a load of stuff to the base to make the bases look rather cool. But hopefully you'll agree that, you know, literally just coming along, spraying on this nice natural metal finish by Vallejo, coming along with a wash, I mean, there's nothing hard about that. It's just really easy to basically get this model virtually, you know, we're 80% painted there, you know, I mean, you know, there's no sort of belts or gun pouches or anything like that to paint. It's just literally we paint the gun, do the eyes, and that miniature's done, and then we do the base. So, you know, Necrons are really easy to paint. With this quick sort of easy spraying and putting a wash on, it is just so easy. It's a good way to get a quick, easy army painted effectively and getting it on the board and getting playing. But yeah, next week in part 3, you know, I'll show you some sort of glowing effects around the eyes, and you know, we're going to sort of concentrate on the base as well, because we want to make them look cool, and we'll sort of make a swampy sort of looking base as well, just so we can use loads of different effects with the base. So hopefully you've enjoyed part 2 of building our Necrons. So there is the Necrons. Can't wait till next week to actually start painting some detail there. And I'm going to be using a bit of oils as well to sort of do some tricks there. But that's the Necrons. Hopefully you're liking these little clipped little sort of mini video builds there that we're doing. Next up as well, we've got October 2015's competition. Now remember, to be in these competitions to win it, you need to go to the Genessis-Models forum. On the forum you'll see the competition section. In the competition section you will see October 2015 competition thread, and in there all you got to do is post anything that is like count me in or something to that effect, and you are simply entered. You don't have to be a paying member, it's just a member of the forum, which is plain and simply, you know, you can register in the link that's on the forum which says register here, and you just simply, you know, a mailing address, an email address and a username, and you're good to go. There's no need to pay for that side of things. So it is a free competition, and this month's competition is going to be for, just down here, is going to be for the de Havilland Sea Hornet NF21 148 scale, and that is by Trumpeter. Supposed to not be such a bad kit. I haven't really had a chance to look at this, so might do a quick inbox review of this before it actually goes out as the competition prize. But yeah, hopefully you'll be getting involved with trying to win that competition there. Looking at a lot of the work you guys have been doing on the forum, looking fantastic. You know, I'll show you a couple of pictures later of what you guys have been working on this week here on the forum. The actual group build for the aircraft carrier group build, absolutely fantastic work going on in there. Lots of fantastic work going on in there. So just keep that up, and you know, you know, if you wanted to start one there, you could still get it done. You know, but time is sort of starting to tick. We're sort of halfway there. You know, so, you know, if you don't know anything about the Genessis-Models group build of the aircraft carrier based aircraft, you know, go look in that section in the forum, and it really is a lot of information there, and it can teach you a lot of things as well, and see what people are all up to and everything. But yeah, you know, fantastic group build going on there. Next week it is HMS Victory Week, so I'm going to be playing away with some woodwork, and it's going to be kind of interesting, because I know in the old workshop, getting the camera angles for HMS Victory was a problem, you know, because that thing is massive. I mean, it just literally is like, you know, 1 meter something in length. But hopefully now we've got more space, we've got the camera angles coming in from all over the place, that we shouldn't really have as much of a problem with sort of filming that, because I know a lot of the time it was like trying to maneuver this big thing, this big ship into place to get it on camera, and then it was also hard for me to actually do the work and get it on camera and get it right. So yeah, hopefully new studio, new camera angles, new lighting, we should be able to film that a lot better and a lot easier. So that's next week. Can't wait to get my teeth into that. So that's it now. Sadly, we've come to the end of the show. So again, I will leave you with a whole bunch of photos of what you guys have been getting up to on the forum here at Genesis Models. So until next time, my name is Bobby Waldron. This is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed. You do tend to sort of kill it off rather easily, so we go into a nice bit of depth.
I am not sure if I can answer that properly. I can do an internet search for brochure which...
What? Okay. Cut that out.